The James Gunn Superman trailer has dropped, and we here at the Laps Geek Podcast are all over it to give you the breakdown, the analysis, and our thoughts on the earth-shattering beginning to the new DCU, as long as you ignore the Suicide Squad, which was kind of a soft reboot of Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos, Blue Beetle, and Peacemaker. Seriously, this new DCU has had more false starts than a meth addict at a track meet, but forget about that. Let's jump into this glorious new trailer and break it down, fellow geeks. We start off with what we will later learn is Superman being hit so hard that he craters and hits the Yamcha pose in the snow. We see Clark in Metropolis, and personally, I'm loving the hair. I think having a somewhat disheveled look works on Clark Kent, and he's not quite bumbling, but there is already an awkwardness in Corin Sweat's physical performance that's great to see. We love to see it. We see a close-up of Superman here, and it's interesting to note that he's bleeding because in the comics and even previous cinematic portrayals, it takes a lot for Superman to bleed. So he's obviously faced something extremely powerful, capable of breaking his Kryptonian skin. We also begin to hear an electric guitar rendition of the John Williams score from the Donner Superman films, which is iconic. It's a cool way to harken back to the past, but still tell everyone that this is a different time and that this is your movie. We see Lois Lane for the first time and the inside of the Daily Planet, which has a cool retro-futuristic style to it. It actually reminds us of the look of All-Star Superman, a great comic, by the way, highly recommended, which could be awesome as it can have an almost timeless look if pulled off correctly. Next, we see the Kent farm and Pa Kent, who appears to be alive in this iteration. This may be divisive for some fans who are familiar with the Donner and Snyder versions where Pa Kent passed away before Clark ever became Superman. But in the comics, Pa Kent is instrumental in Clark becoming Superman and guiding him as he becomes a hero. Of course, this could be a flashback, so we're going to have to wait and see as to where this fits into the timeline. We're back with Supes in the snow as he whistles, and we see a cloud of snow in the distance as something races to him that will undoubtedly be the star of this film. And we get our first look at Krypto the Superdog. Krypto greets Superman joyfully like the good boy that he is. And Supes asks Krypto to bring him home and hands Krypto his cape. Superman can be seen here saving a young girl from what we later find out is a kaiju attack, which is just all sorts of sweetness. Just look at that shot and we dare you not to get goosebumps. And now we come to the one part of the trailer that gives us pause, and that's the fantastic Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. It's not Nicholas Hoult because we are certain that that guy can play an awesome Lex, because this guy's been killing it since about a boy. Highly recommended, by the way. But because it's Lex again. Since Richard Donner made Superman in 1978, we've ostensibly gotten Lex Luthor or General Zod as the villains in a Superman film. Yes, we know about Superman 3, but that was Lex Light, okay? That's all that was. It's been 47 years, and it'd be just nice to get someone else in there. Metallo, Brainiac, Parasite, anyone but Luthor again. We also know that Miss Tessmacher and Otis will be in tow, which could be a really nice callback, but if this is another real estate scheme, we may have some harsh words for Mr. Gunn. There's a young child raising a homemade Superman flag, which we learn is in the fictional country of Baravia. We see a crowd of people seemingly angry at Superman as one man throws something at him right before he enters the building. From the look at the Superman costume here, we can see that it looks burnt. So this is most likely after the fight with the kaiju, which we'll see later breathes fire. The building has a sign that says Stagg Industries, which the uber geeks among us will know from the comics is run by Simon Stagg, an unscrupulous businessman who becomes the primary antagonist of the hero Metamorpho, especially when he discovers that Metamorpho and his daughter are romantically involved. We get a brief glimpse of Metamorpho in the trailer. And we get our first look at Nathan Fillion in the worst wig the prop department could find as Green Lantern Guy Gardner, who is wearing a team uniform along with Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific. It appears this team also fought the kaiju, and we're going to venture a guess that they are fronted by Maxwell Lord of Wonder Woman 1984 fame, for all of you that have successfully scrubbed that movie from your brains, obviously being played by a different actor in this iteration. But it would be reminiscent of Lord's role with the Justice League International. Lord, you see, has the ability to influence minds, and we're going to put it out there that he's influencing the crowd to turn on Superman for the benefit of his own team. Superman and Lois appear to be having an interview, or perhaps it's a date. It's been on a while since we were on one of those, so we don't know. While there appears to be something going on outside, perhaps even something that Guy Gardner is engaging. There's green and pink and purple energy. We're going to have to wait to see more about this. But then we see Lois kissing Clark. What? She's cheating on Clark with Superman, and this is why we have trust issues, people. Superman is then emotional about a robot that's been destroyed, which we're going to assume is Kelix, a Kryptonian robot in the Fortress of Solitude, who was also Jor-El's personal assistant robot on Krypton. It would explain Kal-El's emotional ties and his reaction to its destruction. This also means that someone has been able to break into the Fortress of Solitude, which in the films was accomplished only by Lex Luthor. It seems as if we are seeing the creation of the Fortress of Solitude as the crystal pillars burst from the ice, but it could also be that the fortress is somehow hidden, and this is how it emerges when activated. So we'll have to wait and see on that. We see our good boy bringing Superman to the fortress because he's such a good boy. And very interestingly, we see a couple of quick clips of Ultraman fighting Superman. Now, Ultraman in the comics is usually a Superman from a different universe, where he became evil and leads the crime syndicate. The multiverse again. But, we don't think this is a multiversal Superman. It could be a clone, which is why he wears a full face mask to hide his identity, and Lex has been known to clone Superman in the comics very famously as Superboy. Or it could be another Kryptonian. Please, Lord in heaven, don't be Zod, because we do know that Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, will be appearing in this movie, so it certainly stands to reason that more Kryptonians may have made it off-planet before its destruction. We get a great look at Mr. Terrific, which we're going to assume is in Baravia, as he protects people from harm with a force field. Mr. Terrific is the third smartest man on the planet and uses a variety of devices of his own invention to be a superhero. He is seemingly fighting LexCorp troops here because the soldiers are wearing green and purple, which is Lex's favorite color combination for his villainy deeds. We see Lois betraying Clark yet again, and then Superman flies up into the sky. Now, we here at the Laps Geek Podcast love this trailer. We like Man of Steel, but we'd be lying if we said that the somber tone and the edgelord BS didn't bring down the movie for us. This is the bright hero of hope we associate with Superman, an unapologetic god among men that stands for the best of us. Where saving a cat for a little girl can be as important as preventing a train from derailing. Krypto's addition to the movie mythos is long overdue, and we already know everyone's going to fall in love with Superman's best friend, and that is not you, Jimmy Olsen. Now, to the bad. We've already mentioned Lex being the big bad again, so we won't dwell on that. Our other concern is that the movie may be overstuffed. We love all the geek stuff packed into this trailer alone, but will it lead to a film that has no room to breathe? Kind of like Thor: Love and Thunder. God bless you if you love that movie. We never want to crap on any geek stuff, but that movie was tough to watch. This doesn't appear to be an origin film, thank God, but we still have to introduce Superman and the Clark Kent persona into the world, including at least the briefest of origin details, from Krypton to crashing on Earth to being raised by the Kents. Lois Lane in a Daily Planet angle, Krypto, and we could easily spend an hour on that because he's such a good boy. Supergirl, Lex Luthor, Simon Stagg, Maxwell Lord, Guy Gardner and the Green Lantern Corps, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, Ultraman, that kaiju thing, and whatever the supervillain plot actually is in the movie. That's quite a lot to shove into one film. But we trust in James Gunn. We just hope that this is more Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 3 Gunn than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Gunn, where the number of stories appeared to interfere with one another rather than boost each other synergistically. Still, we can't wait to see this, and you bet we're going to be in the theater day one believing that a man can fly. What did you think of the trailer, though? Tell us down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the Laps Geek Podcast, as the only YouTube channel made by geeks for geeks. This is Doc John signing off, and remember, they are good people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to lead the way. It is for this reason above all, their capacity for good, that I have sent them you, my only son.